And welcome to another episode of Experts Speak. I'm Michael DeLon. Today I am talking with Adam Zuckerman. Adam, man, thanks for being here today.
Michael, it's great to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. We are going to have a great conversation. Stay tuned because Adam does something. He's created something that is very wicked cool, right to my heart. And he runs a company called Buried in Work. But what they do is it's an online system designed to simplify estate planning and end of life tasks. And he and I were talking a little bit about how this impacted my life a few years ago. I'm super excited for you, Adam, to just kind of unpack for our audience what you've got, the help that you can provide them, because this is something that everybody's going to deal with. But tell me, how in the world did you get doing what you're doing today?
Yep, by accident. I'm an attorney. I have an MBA. My father passed away from cancer, and I hopped in to help my mom transition the estate. I was the executor on the will. And what I realized very quickly is that the resources just aren't available for regular people to understand easily. I took very copious notes of what I was doing. When I showed my mom's financial planner what I had put together, the response was, "Holy cow, Adam, this is the most comprehensive transition I've ever seen. You need to give it away." So I spoke to a few people, built a website pretty quickly, and surprisingly, we had over 10,000 visits to the website in a week. And some from there, it's been a ride. We've got resources, checklists, guides for do-it-yourselfers. We've got paid products for people that want a little bit of a guided approach, and we're working with businesses and individuals and associations, religious places, you name it. It's really neat.
Man, it is so cool. And at the end, we'll talk to people about where they can go to get more information around Buried in Life and what you do. But here's, you and I talked a little bit about it, and I want my audience to understand. Here's where it hit me, is that a few years ago, a friend of mine called me at like 3 a.m. and said, "Hey, my husband just died of a heart attack." So I cleared my plate. I went over to help her and serve her family, and they had
Mhm.
done no planning, Adam. They really didn't, both financially or end of life. I mean, what do you do? Who do you call? And I had to figure this thing out for a week, calling people and different things. And what you've created, I want you to unpack a little bit of how you help people plan for that moment, but beforehand, what you should do, and after somebody passes away, what you should do, because it's just so important. So unpack a little bit about what you've created, because we're all going to deal with it.
The reality is that everybody dies, and everybody has an estate. Even if you don't think you have a lot, or you think that estate planning is only for the wealthy, unfortunately, that's incorrect. You want to make things as easy on your heirs, your loved ones, whoever's going to handle what happens to you after you pass away. Make it easy on them. On average, in the United States, it takes 570 hours to administer an estate, and that's because people are going through this process of finding information that, quite frankly, you could get in front of them before something happened to you very, very easily. Now, most people think that having a will, having a trust, that's estate planning. And while those are foundational components of it, that is a small, small piece. You have to have information down to help people understand what you want to have happen end of life if you can't advocate for yourself. So, do you want to be intubated? Do you not? If you're sick, who you want making decisions for you? Who do you want to be helping with your finances? What happens to your pets? What happens to your house? After you pass away, what do you want to have happen? Do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be buried? What do you want to have happen at your funeral service? And what we've done is take all of these questions, comprehensive estate planning from today all the way until the end of your last items, estate items, or assets, liabilities taken care of. We're gathering that and making it really easy for people to process. Now, some people say, well, what do you mean by that? We've got guides, checklists, forms, 1,700 plus articles. We've got a product called the Estate Preparation Package, which you can pick up if you'd like. It helps you organize in the most comprehensive and easy way possible your family member information, your citizenship information, your career education history, residential history, your email, your online accounts, it's your digital legacy, digital profile, computers, phones, devices, financial assets, business information, insurance information, tax information. It's a lot more than that. And the thing is that a lot of people don't even want to get started because it's scary, it's confusing, it's overwhelming, and you can't do all of this in one day. So what we've done is we've broken up into very easy sections, very easy instructions that people can follow. And when you go through the kit, it will save your loved ones countless hours of hassle, stress, and work. So
Yeah.
that's the nutshell.
That's a great nutshell. Thank you for that. And I love what you said is this is not a weekend project. It really
Mhm.
is. It's something that you need to take some time, and the way you've structured thing allows people to do that. And I was thinking, man, we think about Christmas gifts and things of that nature. What am I going to give one of the best gifts you can actually give your heirs, and if you're a man, how to protect your wife and love her, is to do this planning and hand them a document, a binder, access to a website to go, here's what I need you to know. that when my day comes, here's what you do. I've already taken care of everything. Here's all my accounts. Here's all my numbers.
That's
I love
literally exactly what we're doing. And Michael, you're right. What a lot of people don't realize is that women outlive their male husbands in the United States by an average of 5.8 years.
yes.
And I don't want to have happen to my mom happen to other people where she goes, heck, I don't know where my accounts are. And that's what we are out to solve. You hit the nail on the head.
Okay, so here, let's just dive in. I don't know where my widow, the lady that I helped,
Mm-hmm.
I call her my widow, right? Her husband worked for a company for like 35 years. He had a 401k or something. It was
Mm-hmm.
in his, he was dead. We called that company and said, well, we need to get access to find out how much he's got in that. They're like, we need a death certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously? Do you know how long it takes to get a death certificate, Adam?
Yeah,
And
and
so we're going,
that's exactly right. That's what we help people solve. So there's ways around that. If you have a payable on death beneficiary designated, if you have a joint ownership on accounts, we have all of these checklists and we help you understand it's not just information gathering, but it's what to do with that information. And unless you've gone through it, you're not even going to know the question to ask. An example is there was a guy in Virginia that we helped. He had two kids, was married, got a divorce, updated his will. So if he got hit by the proverbial bus, 50% of his assets would go to each kid, but he didn't update his payable and death beneficiaries on his bank accounts. That's contractual. If he actually died, that money goes to his ex-wife, not his kids.
yeah,
We help people fix those problems.
yeah. And and you talk about arguments after the fact, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
these little things. And here's what I learned, Adam. In that week that I walked with my widow, she had to make hundreds of decisions during the time when she was grieving the loss of her husband that she should not have had to make.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they would have pre-planned a little bit. So we hear a lot about pre-planning your funeral. Yeah, do you want to be buried or cremated? Let's get it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's like one element that really, in the scheme of things, is not a big deal. You help people really take a proactive approach
Mm-hmm.
to deal with something that we're all dealing with. I mean, stop, get your head out of the sand. And you've made it so simple. And that's
Thank
the
you.
thing I love about what you've put together, Adam.
Thank you so much. And there's fun stuff too. We actually created some games. So I was in the hospital with my dad, and we were saying, "Hey, Dad, tell us one more story about this. Tell us one more story about that. What's your favorite memory? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite legacy that you want people to know about you after you pass?" Because it was pretty apparent what was happening. And that turned into a card game called One More Story, where it's 6 categories, 126 cards, rapid fire. Goal isn't to get through all the cards, but to see where they go. And then that turned into another game called Nothing Left Unsaid, where if you don't have time to do the estate preparation package and sit down and get all the information, they're quick flashcards, same format. Do you have a will? Do you have a trust? Where are the originals? How do you feel about palliative care? All the things that you really need to know very, very quickly. And those are going to hospitals, hospice care. Like Johns Hopkins Hospital has it in their gift shop now. It's awesome.
That's great. Oh, I love that. I would love that. And I'll add one more component to that. The first game,
Mhm.
tell me another story. When you're playing that game, record it, record the answers.
Yeah.
Okay, because my dad, you don't know this, back on June 29th, 1987, my dad was killed in a motorcycle accident. Just right. So I didn't have the time to do all this. And none of my family has ever met my dad. My wife, my kids, none of them, right? And so I keep saying, well, here's what Grandpa DeLon would say. Here's what I learned from Grandpa DeLon. So I'm kind of doing that with them, but to have his voice or to have his answers or to say, well, here's
Mhm.
what that'd be so cool. So play the game. That's so cool. And it's honestly therapeutic for everybody.
Michael, you want to hear something crazy? So we thought it would just be for capturing memories of loved ones, but people are buying them and taking them on dates with them. We had an email from someone where he got the game, went through a few of the questions, left it on his table, and his teenage daughter and her friend were playing when they got home, and it turned into a really good conversation for everybody. There's
That's awesome.
so many things that people can do to approach these conversations and make them easy and fun. And that's what we're trying to do is help people start the process because if you don't start, you're going to find out later on in life that you wish that you did.
Yeah, very much. And think about, I mean, memories, right? We all have memories of our loved ones. But if that time period when your loved one passes away, and if that week or two afterwards is just
Mm.
nightmarish and stress, your memories are tainted a bit, and you're like, oh yeah, I
Mhm.
don't like. We don't want that. Adam's made it simple so that doesn't have to happen. Yes, you have to be proactive. You have to take steps, but Adam's like laid that the red carpet. I mean, dude, go to his website and look at what they've put together. And if you'll just commit to, I mean, how much time, Adam, should somebody if somebody's going to do this, would you recommend they spend an hour a week for a few weeks? How does somebody actually do this thing?
Great question. So you need to develop your estate plan today for tomorrow and update it in the future. So it's not a I am done and you're good to go. So oftentimes people have a will that was written 30 years ago, but the reality is that will didn't evolve with their changing situations. So their kids are no longer minors, they may have moved houses, they may have had nieces and nephews, so you need to update it. But to answer your question directly, it's up to you. Everybody's unique. We have some people that will literally be able to knock through everything that's important in under 3, 4 hours. Very quick, small estates. There are people that will take countless hours, probably a week or two, and have to get lawyers involved or financial planners because they have 6 houses, 7 cars, and that's obviously the exception. But most people fall somewhere in between. What happens is when you get your big box that has 2 different binders in it, one that can go to the hospital with you with all your end of life information, your who to call, who's that first person you call, and then go down the list. What do I want to have happen at my funeral? All the information that you need. The other one has your assets, liabilities, estate information, family information. Um, you can get through those with the getting started checklist booklet that we give you, and it says focus on these specific sections first. So it's really easy to go through. And then if you want to make updates, you can make updates. We recommend on April 16th, the day after you file your taxes, spend an hour and a half, 2 hours updating, and you will be in a much, much better spot.
That's so cool. So I want to hit two things there that you said without saying that. Well, you said
Hmm.
one, binder, and I love it, the binder, right? And
Yeah.
so after my experience with my widow, I went through a whole process of creating. I've already written my funeral. I know what songs. I know who's
Hmm.
speaking. I've got all that written down. I know who my wife's going to call when I die. And I've codified all that. I've printed out in a binder. I've talked with Jill about it. She knows
Hmm.
it, and that person knows it. So that when I'm hit by that bus, my wife calls one person and they take care of everything. They walk with my wife and my family. And that's what you help people create is this binder that just lowers the stress. And it's like, oh, this is so good. I
Hmm.
know he loved me because he took care of all this
Yep.
stuff.
There is a company that we are in discussions with. They've gone through, we're working on several times now, and they provide more than a third of the caskets in America, to give you an idea how large they are. They said that we have the most comprehensive solution they've ever seen. So while Jill has your binder, and I'm sure it's great, I'm willing to place a bet with you. If you pick up one of these and it doesn't give you more information than that, I'll
Yeah.
refund it to you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm scratching the surface, dude. I'm sure. The other thing about this whole process, and we've done this with our kids, is involving your kids in this stuff, right?
Hmm.
Talk about the importance of that as your kids are growing up, that they're involved in all of this.
All right. So if you take time to do anything in this regard and then you squirrel it away in a safe or under the bed and your family members don't know where that information is, it's as if that information does not exist. Because, like you said, the weeks after something happens are unbelievably hectic because there's some time sensitivities on what needs to happen. And odds are people aren't scouring your house for information that they don't know exists. You don't necessarily have to say, this is what I want to have happen, but your family members, the key individuals, have to be involved. So when you get that getting started booklet, the first thing it does is you write your name, sign, and that's a pledge that you're going to actually finish it. Psychologically, you finish things that you put your name down on. The second thing that you do is you notify your 3 most key important contacts, and you can invite 5 to know if you want, but we say 3. Typically, it's a spouse or kids, the people that are going to be involved, maybe your lawyer, and you say, this is what I'm doing, and this is where it is. And then it's up to you to see how much you want to get other people involved. Some people sit down and go, you're my power of attorney, you're my guardianship designation, you're going to be doing this, 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 and this. What do you think about that? And other people just say, nope, this exists. You don't have to worry about it. Here's where it's located for when you actually need it.
Right. Yeah, but it's that thinking through the process, and Adams puts together so many checklists and pathways and templates, and you've made it super simple,
Yeah.
making it easy to die, right? Because it's not about at the end of the day, dare I say, it's not about you. It's about who's left behind. How easy are you making it for them? And I'm telling you, that week after somebody dies, Adam, I mean, I remember my widow, her brain was not functioning properly. And
Hmm.
I totally get it because she was in grief. And we were like, yeah, but we need this decision. What do you want to do?
Hmm.
I don't know.
The former deputy chief technologist at NASA, so in charge of, or one of the individuals in charge of space missions, looked over what we were doing. He said, Adam, this is amazing. Leave your heirs the gift of organization. And that is the quote that is on the side of the box that you get. And you cannot be more correct about that. It is up to you to make your loved ones' lives easier. Leave them the gift of organization. And that's what we're working on.
Brother. We could talk for hours.
Yeah.
I don't want to confuse it. What I want to do is give our audience resources. Where, Adam, where do they go to find out more about what you've created and how they can leave their heirs that gift of organization?
It is very easy to find us. Just go to www.buriedinwork.com. If you need to email me, feel free, adam@buriedinwork.com as well. If I hear from you, I'd love to get back to you too.
That's awesome. Thank you. I'm going to have that in the show notes. I just need to implore my audience, Adam, take action. Take one
Mhm.
step, go to the website, just look at what he's got and start thinking about end of life. And it's everybody needs this. And I presume I didn't even ask you. So like for me and Jill, we've been married 30, since
Mhm.
1990. That's a long time. I do one and Jill does one, right? And then our kids should do one. It's not like I do one and it covers everybody. Is that fair? Is that right?
Yes and no. So the way it works is one of our estate preparation packages can be designed for an individual or a couple, and the couple covers them and their kids and any non-dependent or non-minor dependents. That said, that's high level information about your children. They'll want one as well. So what we have is people that are picking them up for themselves and also their kids. Some people that are my age, the sandwich generation in their 40s, they're buying it for themselves and also their parents. But same price, one individual, or if you're married, we will take care of both of you and get you on your way.
Awesome. Okay. Buriedinwork.com is the website. Go.
Mhm.
Seriously, go check them out. Take some initiative. Protect your family. This is probably, honestly, one of the most loving things you will ever do for your spouse and your children. And as I tell my kids, how do I know? I'd walk through it. So, Adam, brother, thank you. Thank you for putting this together. Thank you for being my guest and sharing this with my audience. I really, really appreciate it.
Michael, it's been great to be here and thank you very much. I appreciate it.